What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about our wide receiver football IQ quiz episode 2. So we're going to be taking a look at 3 separate routes here, fellas. If you guys did not see the first episode, we're going to be talking about 3 separate routes with 3 specific defensive looks. And what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to pause the clip, think about what you would do in the specific situation with the specific route that I give you versus the specific defensive coverage that we're looking at. And then you're going to play the clip, and I'm going to break down and explain what you guys could do in this situation. The reason why we include videos like this is because this is how you guys should be watching film as a wide receiver. You need to go through each specific route that you guys should run against each specific defensive look that you guys are going to see on game day through film study throughout the week. Okay, so I hope this video helps you guys out. If you guys like this format, please don't hesitate to leave feedback in the comments. I always appreciate it, you guys. Okay, so first clip here. You see this DB? We're looking at a press coverage DB right here circled, and you guys have to run a corner route. Okay, so now I want you guys to pause the video, think about how you would run that route against this specific type of DB, and then I'll get into the explanation. So you guys can pause the video. Okay, so now I'll get into the explanation of this. So we got this DB who's lined up here, right? He's in press coverage, right? Looks like he's going to get very, very physical. You could tell by his body language, right, that he is probably going to jam and probably try to get hands on me and try to reroute me completely and screw up the timing with this quarterback. Now, you can expect the coverage like this when you guys are in this bunch and stack formation, right? So think about the release that you might want to use here, right? So how would you run a corner against this? A corner is as a quicker developing route, right? Because it's an outside breaking route. You're breaking to the sideline. That quarterback is not going to hold that ball, and he's never going to throw a corner route late. Let's put it that way. If you're running a corner, chances are you're going to be the first read on the play, right? Anything outside breaking, comeback, out route, a quarterback will never go from like, okay, he's reading the right side of the field, then come all the way back to the left side of the field and throw a corner late. So you can't do a longer developing release, right? So now, if you guys said to use something like a split release or maybe like a hesitation slide to the outside, you would be correct. Now, if you guys said that you wanted to use a step back release where you step back because it looks like this DB is going to lunge at me, you would be wrong, because think about it. You guys are in a stack formation, so you cannot step back because you will get in the way of Thielen's route right here. So Justin Jefferson goes with a split release and takes the outside release, which is what you want to do in this specific case. So let's watch it full speed. So he does a split release, DB jams, he's able to get underneath them, restack with that shoulder, and create some separation on that corner route, right? So that's exactly what you want to do. When you got a DB who's going to be real physical, you want to hit this split release. You want to be in a nice explosive position, because anytime that DB is going to lunge at you and he is going to jam with 2 hands, he loses his base. When he is reaching out and looks like he's going to lunge, we can expect that he's not going to have his base. So I need to make sure that I have a base as a wide receiver. That's why a split release is perfect. You bring your back foot even with your front foot. You keep a good pad level. So if he does get hands, I'm not going to be completely rerouted. I can shrug those hands off, dip that shoulder, and then ultimately get up into this route and restack. That is a textbook situation right there from Justin Jefferson. Let's watch it again, full speed one more time. Great job reacting. So if you guys said split release, hesitation, slide release on this specific corner, you would be 100% correct in this situation. All right, fellas, before we get into this next route right here about this slant route, I want to talk to you guys about an opportunity that we are having on our website this offseason, where you guys can sign up for one of our 8 off-season wide receiver and quarterback training camps that we are going to be doing. We are traveling to 8 different cities. We just got back from Tampa, Florida last week. We're going to be coming out to Houston, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Newark, New Jersey, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California for 2 whole day quarterback, wide receiver, and we're going to have some DBs out there to be a part of our camp. So this camp, we're limiting spots to only 10 to 12 guys per position group, per age group. So things are going to be small because we actually want to develop you guys. I can't tell you how many camps I went to as a kid where there's 100 people out there. I never got coached. It was just a money grab for these guys. It was a complete waste of time. This is not going to be that. That's why we're capping it out at 10 guys per position group, per age group. So if you guys want one of those 10 spots, our Houston, Phoenix, and Newark camps are almost completely sold out, fellas. So if you guys want spots to those camps, check out that very first link in the description below. We would love to have you out to one of our off-season QB, wide receiver, and DB training camps this year. Let's get back to this video. So now, first things first here with this route. So we're going to be running, so this is a head-up coverage DB, right? 1 to 2 yards off. He's head up. He does not have a leverage. He is not inside shade. He is not outside shade. And you guys have to run a slant route. So how would you guys run a slant route versus this specific head-up coverage, 1 to 2 yards off in this catch technique, as they like to say? So slant route versus this specific coverage. You guys can go ahead and pause the video, think about what you're going to do against this specific coverage, And now I'm going to break it down and explain what you guys got, okay? So now, we have a head-up coverage DB, 1 to 2 yards off. Now, normally, if I have like an inside shade guy and he's pressed up, how would you run a slant? You'd take him outside, 3 hard steps, you'd break underneath and run that diamond release, right? If I have an outside shade guy and I have to run a slant, maybe I would give him like an outside move, like a wide step, take the inside release, then break it off if it was a 3-step slant, right? But now I got a guy who's head up in front of me. He's not at a specific leverage. So what do you think you want to do in this specific case? Anytime that you have head up, kind of catch technique coverage, off man coverage, right? And he's head up, he's not a specific leverage. You want to close the space with him. You want to close the distance. So if that's what you guys said, that you want to close the distance with the guy, you would be 100% correct. If you guys said diamond release, that wouldn't necessarily be wrong. It's just when you go diamond release like this and he's head up and he's got about 1 to 2 off, you're giving him a lot of space to recover, right? So I would like to make him uncomfortable. I'd like to go at him. I'd like to hit him with a crossover move and then be able to run a slant. And that's exactly what Dotson does right here. So let's watch think full speed. So he attacks him, hits him with the 1-2, gets that DB to sit to the outside, and then is able to create space on this slant route, right? So that's exactly how we would play this thing, especially if we think that this DB, through film study, like when he goes head up like this, we know he likes to probably bail and likes to backpedal if I go at him. That's when I would use this specific move. So anytime that you guys have a situation where you have a head up coverage guy and you have to run a slant route, what I like to do is I like to close the space, give that crossover move, and then be able to run that slant. Just make sure we step on his toes, attack his midline, make him uncomfortable, get him on those heels, and then I can make that move. And when you guys make that crossover, it's super important that you guys are actually stepping outside of his frame, actually threatening him vertical with that upper half, because he's supposed to be watching your hips. You have to sell with your hips to get that DB off the jump and be able to accelerate out of there. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Hamler executing the slant route versus catch technique coverage head up. Let's watch it again. Great job attacking. Hit him with that 1-2, get that DB to sit to the outside, and then create some space on that slant route. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about this clip here. So now, last clip of this thing. So you guys are going to be running a 10-yard speed out. So it's a timing speed out versus this specific coverage. So DB is outside shade. Think about where his eyes are. Think about his stance. Think about a lot of those things. So I'm going to pause this clip and then think about how you guys would run a 10-yard out versus this specific coverage. So go ahead and pause the clip. Now I'm going to get into breaking this thing down, okay? So now, outside shade guy. Why is he outside shade in the first place? He's outside shade because he's trying to force me inside, right? He's got safety help, and you see that my split is cut down. Here's the top of the numbers. We're inside of the numbers. So chances are, anytime that a receiver cuts his split down like so, he's trying to use this grass that he just created for himself. So chances are that DB's going to be outside shade because he's expecting an outside breaking route. Now, let's think about this. He's going to be facing, his eyes are facing towards the inside. His stance is turned. He's got that front hip pointed at me. He's not facing me completely square like we had in that last clip with the slant. So chances are, what does that mean? It means it's probably zone coverage, right? So if I'm running this out route, chances are that I probably like this from a quarterback perspective, so we can expect the ball in this situation. But if he's outside shade, what do you think you would do? So if you said that you want to attack his leverage and square him up and attack his front hip, you would be wrong. Because think about it, he's outside shade. When you attack a DB's leverage, what's he supposed to do? He's supposed to keep his leverage, right? So if he keeps his leverage to the outside while you're attacking the leverage, then you run the out route, you're going to run right into him. So where do you think we want to threaten him? We want to threaten him to the inside. It'd be a different story. Like, let's say the DB's lined up inside shade. You'd want to attack him, square him up because he would keep his leverage to the inside, and then you have all this green grass that you just created for yourself. But you need to know when to attack leverage and then when to split a defender in half and attack the inside shoulder. And that's what Odell does right here. So let's play this full speed. So he attacks the inside shoulder, gets the DB to flip his hips, breaks this thing off, and you see how we got a ton of separation on this. That's exactly what we want to do. So when you attack the inside shoulder, you're threatening him exactly where he wants you to go, right? So you want to be able to get to this like area over here where it's open. Some people call it a blind spot. I wouldn't consider it the blind spot in this case, but if that helps you understand, that's fine. But he's got help over here. So if you can sell like you're running right towards his help, that could get his hips to flip because he wants to chase you and be right on your hip if you're running a post route, if you're running a seam route, whatever it may be. But we got to make sure that the same principles apply of me selling vertical. My hips and my shoulders have to be committed fade. I have to be in full stride. I have to be running fast. My eyes have to be forward. And then I make that sudden cut because, again, if we get that DB to move out of there simply because of my stem, I can create a ton of separation if I cut efficiently and if I rip those arms out of there like Odell does to accelerate on that 90-degree cut for the out route. That is a textbook route there by Odell. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So if you guys said attack inside shoulder to get the DB to flip hips and slip under, you would be 100% correct. If you guys said attack his leverage, that would be wrong. We got to know the difference between the leverages we will see in off man or zone coverage or there have you. Let's watch it again full speed. Great job attacking the inside shoulder, breaking it off, and then accelerating to the outside to win on this out route. All right, guys, we want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you're local to one of those 8 cities that we are traveling to the remainder of this offseason, Houston, Texas in February, Phoenix in February, Newark in March, Atlanta in April, Chicago. It's actually May 21st and May 22nd in Chicago, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. Check out that very first link in the description below. We would love to have you out to one of our off-season training camps this year. I'll see you guys next time.